Boys, wow.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It feels a bit
Been a while.
strange. Yeah,
I know, it has been a while. Of course, one of the biggest incidents in the first week of the finals, Harry, you suffered a concussion when you were playing the Swans, and it meant that you weren't able to finish the game, and it meant that we weren't able to record because no doubt you were just going through the processes and making sure that you'd recovered. How are you feeling first
It
of all?
was interesting. I was wondering whether you two might just do an episode, whether you were going to get like another guest on or something.
We were thinking of doing the Ben and Will podcast. But
Yeah. Fell through.
fell through.
Yeah, it would have been very
Out of respect
interesting.
to your concussion,
I think, yeah.
We'll steer clear of that.
Imagine if you had done one and the numbers just skyrocketed.
We just
I might have retired from
the
podcasting.
concussion bounce. No, we took 12-day protocols for the podcast as well, which I think was out of respect to you. But how are you feeling? You seem like you're yourself again.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling good. Thank you, mate. Just saying off air, but for the first couple of days, it's not a great feeling. You're a little bit headachy, and I think the best way to describe it is just you're not quite right for a couple of days, and then you take it pretty easy. But after 2 or 3 days, you kind of start to feel normal again, and then it was just overnight. I think it was maybe day 3 or 4, everything just clicked and you felt pretty good again. So I was lucky that I responded pretty well and bounced out of it as good as possible. So it's all tracking really well. Back full training this week, and all going well. Be all good to play. So it's obviously wasn't ideal to not be able to finish the game and then not be able to play last week. But lucky that the season's still alive and a chance to play again. So
Yeah. You've spoken before about how tough it is watching.
yeah, mate, it was. So I didn't go to the game. I watched it at home just from the concussion point of view, and that was hard. That was the longest couple of hours.
Yeah.
Like it was just. I felt sick the whole time.
Were you just by yourself?
I was, and then my housemate Tom came home for the last quarter.
Yeah.
And watched it with me, but it was tough. It was so hard. And that last 5 minutes, I was looking at my shirt, and my heart was just racing. Like it was crazy.
It was so hectic.
Yeah,
Especially
because like,
I didn't go to that one. No, I was up in Brisbane, unfortunately, but I watched it on a phone at the wedding. We had people crowded around it. It was one of the most ridiculous finishes.
yeah, especially because it felt like they had the momentum and they were probably just like a goal away.
Yeah.
But our ability to hang tough, and it was crazy. It was a crazy finish.
Yeah.
So hats off to the boys. It was a pretty cool win, and they're a very good side, Melbourne. So we should take a lot of confidence out of it.
Yeah. Before we move on from the concussion, because we were just saying before about the actual step-by-step process, which I don't think a lot of fans would have heard before. So the initial incident takes place, was it second quarter?
Midway through the third, I think.
Third, was it?
Yeah.
And so you've obviously come off and it was quite clear that you'd suffered a concussion. So you've gone into the rooms.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that protocol is like in the immediate aftermath?
Yeah, it's all a little bit hazy, but so I think if you're clearly had an incident and you're very out of it, then they don't even bother doing a concussion test.
Right,
So you're done, which was the case for me. So I remember afterwards just sitting in a room and everything was just very spinny, and so then kind of walked to the rooms and just laid in a dark room for a while. Then kind of there was a TV on, so I watched the last like minute and a half of the game. Still obviously not really too clearly what was going on, but I remember watching the last minute and a half and seeing that we won, and then
Because that game was pretty bedlam as well.
yeah, correct. So I didn't know what had happened. I was like lying in the room, and all I could, because obviously he's spinning, but all I could hear was just like sporadic roars of the crowd. So I was just kind of, and I thought we were like 5-6 goals up when I went off.
Yeah, you were. It
I
looked
thought
like
we were cruising, and
the
then
bag.
Lil, our she looks after everyone, welfare manager. She came in and said, I think I must have asked what the score was, and she said, "Oh, it's like a goal or two in it." And I was, "Oh, gee, maybe I am concussed." So I wasn't sure that was the score, but so it was all pretty hectic the last couple of minutes of the game, and then everyone poured in after the game into the rooms, and that's probably the bit, because you were not yourself and quite spacey. You didn't really get to enjoy probably the win, because there was obviously a lot going on, and you were probably, when you get concussed, I don't know, Ben could probably speak to it, but you just you don't really want to be thinking too much or have too many stimuluses. It was everyone was amazing at the club. Like everyone was really, really good. So you're always in good hands. But it was a unique experience, your first final. But I was really glad that we get the win and last 2 weeks. Yeah.
What did the first 2 or 3 days after Friday look like? You obviously weren't doing too much, but normally it's a slow progression into exercise again after you're symptom free, I assume.
Yeah. So a big thing is to like you don't want to have to concentrate or have bright lights or noise. So obviously no phone, TV, too many like loud noises or anything.
No TV. What were you doing?
It was actually so hard because, and obviously everyone was lovely and like reaching out and calling and texting, and your phone was going ham, but couldn't really didn't want to go on it too much, and it was just it was pretty boring. Yeah, that's what the last week.
Did
well, reading is concentrating as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially for me. So it was like, you couldn't do a lot. It was pretty boring. I reckon I said to a few people, I cleaned the house like 4 times because it's just trying to do something over the last few days. But initially it's not, you don't do a lot. And then once your kind of symptoms are feeling better, go for a little bit of a light walk, bit of exercise, and then back into the club. And then kind of build up from there. But it's a very detailed, the protocols are really detailed, which is great. But the doctors are all over it, and kind of, first week's kind of symptom based, and then second week you got to tick off a few parameters to be able to be available to play. Yeah. So, haven't had too many. Touch wood, that's the last while, but glad that I'm feeling better now.
Yeah, 100%. So that means now that, of course, Carlton are into the preliminary final, and then you've been at training over the last few days. Is the club buzzing?
Carlton are in a prelim final.
It's extraordinary.
Crazy.
When you think around 15, bottom 4.
Just in general, like Carlton in a prelim final, that's awesome.
First since 2000. It's a unique feeling for all footy supporters of the last generation.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a very euphoric kind of feeling, I think, as a player in the club, because I was saying this to Mum and Dad the other night, that when you're a kid, there's like always and Ben, we'll probably similar, there's like a buzz and this like euphoric feeling around finals and the grand final.
Yeah.
And I know the grass just smells better and the weather's nice, and it's just like this feeling about it. It's like nearly similar to Christmas. It's like that.
For sure.
Hard to describe, but like
an atmosphere
around it. And even it was nearly immediately once we're into the prelim, it was just the next day at the club, and the vibe around the place, it just felt very much like that. And it's a really cool experience. So it's been awesome for, I think a lot of guys are just loving playing in front of big crowds and doing it all with a smile on our face. And I think we've been big on that. Just obviously want to compete and put our best performance out there, but really enjoy it and do it with a smile. So.
It's interesting you say that, because Jonathan Brown was on the Saturday Rub on Triple M, and he was talking about Vossi and how he always just loved big games, and he would always almost have this like smile on his face about it. He just wanted to get out there, and Brownie reckons Vossi would have that same kind of presence and energy with your playing group at the moment. Do you think he's bringing an energy and a positivity before each game? Yeah,
absolutely. I to be honest, it hasn't changed a lot from the last 10, 11 weeks or the last 10 weeks of the home and away season. So, we're very clear on what our roles are and what we need to execute throughout the game. But I think Vossi's absolutely nailed the kind of the messaging and the themes around the finals campaign so far. And hasn't created an environment where you feel stressed or thinking about like the repercussions. He said something really cool at the start. He's like, this is going to end. Like whether you win 4 or you win none, like it's going to end eventually. So don't be worried about like the fact that it's going to end. Like just really enjoy every game and every moment. And whatever happens, like we'll be better for it. So there's just been a really cool and calm messaging, and it's the first experience of finals for a lot of us. So everyone's kind of just riding the wave, having fun with it, but really clear on what we need to do to win.
Yeah. There's definitely a feeling of momentum that's sort of carrying Carlton through this final series. And the same with the Giants, and we were just talking about it before, Ben. It feels like there are 2 teams that are just surging, and then you've got Brisbane and Collingwood who've kind of done nothing wrong, but now it feels like no one's seen them play for about a month.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's going to be 2 games in a month for those 2 teams, isn't it? Like that's obviously they're going to feel fresh, and that's an advantage. But also on the other hand, they've got Carlton and the Giants who've got momentum and continuity in playing and week after week. So I mean, if you had said round 24 that the Blues and Giants are in the prelim, that's feels like a lifetime ago almost. But they're very deserving of it. So it's great for the game that 4 different stories I think around the whole year, all sort of meeting in a prelim. So as a footy fan, it's pretty cool to sort of
Yeah.
experience it all and have a family member in there. It's as I said, it's just sort of crazy that like a big Melbourne team are in there and you sort of know someone that's
Yeah, you got an attachment.
yeah, it's really when I went to the Sydney game, like that was nerve-wracking. It was exciting knowing someone that's obviously out there and what it means to everyone. Like,
Well, I heard you were barracking for the Swans.
no.
That's the mail I got.
Who said that?
Well, a couple of people you were with said you,
Hannah and Charlie.
Al and Fraser.
Well, after you went down, I just wanted a good game of footy.
Oh, hang on.
So
You were up by 6 goals or something, so
Yeah. 8 goals, wasn't
he
it?
was just trying to
I
get
think
them
it was.
back in the game.
that's right. I wanted a good game of footy and I got it, so I was happy. Yeah, I haven't got any allegiance to Carlton, but I thought it was a good game of footy. So
As someone without a horse in the race other than Harry, what do you think is going to happen from here? We've got 2 mouth-watering prelims this weekend.
no, I think your point around how Collingwood and Brizzy have been freshened up and haven't played a lot in the last 3 or 4 weeks. I'm sure that can only help, can't it? Like.
What do you guys think? You wouldn't have had much experience with it. It's quite rare that teams experience it, but one game in 27 days, is that a good or a bad thing? Or it's case by case?
I don't know. Surely it's case by case.
I think like this time of year, there'll be guys that are sore and managing things. So from that point of view, like getting an extra a week or 2 here and there to kind of get those into a really good spot would help. But I think at the end of the day, anything can happen on game day. So I think sometimes you always look back at the prep and think, oh, if we had done this or done that. But the reality is just game day just didn't go right. So I think we can read into it a little bit too much. But we'll wait and see how it plays out.
When do you go up?
Friday, I'm assuming. I haven't had anything different. So usually we go up day before the game.
Are the VFL still in contention?
No, our VFL haven't played.
Sorting.
Oh, sorry, they're actually being serious.
Just a gag. A very serious time of year.
Yeah. Oh.
I thought you actually were
I was
asking.
genuinely concerned about your VFL team.
That's strange.
Taking an interest. It's so exciting. And you would have played a few games up at the Gabba. Of course, through COVID, you would have had a bit of a
up in
game.
the Gabba.
Debuted, first game was up in the
Debut at the Gabba.
Yeah,
There you go.
I've always historically enjoyed playing up there. It's weather's always nice and there's always a good buzz around there. So it's a good place to play footy.
Ball's a bit springier out of the middle. It kind of hits that cricket pitch, and everyone says it's a big forward of the centre clearance venue. You've got to, if you're winning centre clearances, it comes in quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe just
I don't
another week
play.
at Carlton, will I?
But the Lions look red
Inside.
hot. The Lions haven't done a whole lot wrong, so it's going to be a very interesting
I
game.
said this off air, but is there a bit of tension between you two? Because Will's obviously
who are you going for?
a massive Brisbane supporter.
I will feel sick every day until this game is just out of my life. There's no tension between us. I would love you to play well. I'll put that on the record as long as you lose by 6 goals. That's all I ask.
Thanks, mate.
No, it'll be great. Regardless, it'll be a story.
That's good.
Carlton returning to the summit, which is just, as Ben said before, it's hard to believe. Not in our kind of lifetimes have we really experienced it as footy watchers. So it's cool. But it's great to have your team involved this time of year.
Yeah.
You take it for granted.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I agree. So, it's cool to still be going. Well, I guess that's like, and every week that there's a game, it's down to 4 now. Like last week it was 6. It's just like that. It's kind of cool that you're nearly the last one standing as it keeps going.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, Ben, your season being over with North Melbourne, you had your best and fairest.
Yep.
And we saw that young Harry Sheasel took it out, which is a very rare feat.
I think I saw a stat. It was the first year player to win it in
It was like
years and years and
97
years.
or something?
97,
Yeah,
I
it was a
think
long time.
which is pretty incredible. And I know I've said this multiple times on here, but he's such an impressive kid, and I was so thrilled for him. As I said, his maturity and just his well-roundedness as a person, speaks volume of the type of person he is. And I think he led the whole way.
Really?
He didn't miss a game. Harry, Larks, and Bailey Scott didn't miss a game, and that was a top 3. So just through consistency, they gave themselves a chance. But I think Harry led from the first round and didn't lose it. So I was thrilled for him. It was a really good night, really enjoyable, and it's good to see young Harry get up.
Yeah.
sound a bit hungover. Was it a good night or?
No, I'm actually a little bit crook, so I'm not hungover. It was an enjoyable night. So
It's funny you say you're a little bit crook. So what are those things starting to go through your head as you've got a final coming up? Are you trying to avoid people that might just high risk people?
I didn't know.
Because I don't
stay
reckon
away.
I don't reckon I'd leave the house.
you can pay me a bit, Will, if I can try and get him sick.
Yeah, just Tonya Harding him.
Yeah, you don't want to. You'd hate to get sick. But
Isn't that just overthinking it though? Like,
I agree, but I don't know. I think I would overthink it.
I think you want to keep it as normal. Everything is normal.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Was there anything different in the rooms for the finals, or did people blow up balloons, or like any of that stuff you see?
Concussed, remember, Will? We didn't remember any of it.
Actually, MJ said you joined in the song after the Swans game.
You come on here and had a go at me for not knowing the words. Visually, it didn't look great personally for you.
oh,
After
That's a bit of a
da.
He didn't even get that right, did he? He didn't get that right.
Doopy doopy doo. All right, Twinners and losers time.
Ben and Harry's
I'm so excited for this.
winners
Are you prepared? Oh, yeah.
and losers.
I hate cheese.
oh my god. I'll kick us off.
Oh,
No,
Harry.
I wanted to kick us off. But anyway.
Well, I think we maybe have the same one, but my twinner for this week is that NFL's back.
Nice.
Oh, that's a
And-
good one.
Yeah. It's been awesome to see again, and we're involved in fantasy NFL football, so
Yep.
it's always very fun and interesting to get your team sorted and all that stuff. So it's been enjoyable to have that back.
From memory, you guys don't actually have teams. You kind of just follow players and.
Oh, I'll go
is it
for
fantasy.
Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, really? That's your
Yeah.
team. Oh, I didn't know.
I've always been.
You don't back it.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Since
Yeah, I'm a Seattle fan as well, but not like
No,
heavy,
you're not.
heavy.
do you reckon you can name one player from Seattle?
Just relax. I just said I'm not a massive, heavily, diehard supporter, but I agree with that. We're not.
Yeah. As long
Yeah,
as
not
you
die
acknowledge that, I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
The LA Rams, I'm hearing, are on the listener app, which is exciting. So we're in a very powerful stable.
We do like the LA Rams.
Yeah.
Well, I was
Yeah.
at SoFi Stadium last year when they played Atlanta. The best stadium I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've heard it's
Incredible.
elite. The Super Bowl was there a couple of years back, wasn't
Yeah.
it? The,
Yep. It was.
The Snoop Dogg one.
Yep. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. How about the luck of Aaron Rodgers? He must have.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I've got him in my fantasy.
You're kidding.
No, and it's dynasty, so it's over the 10 years or whatever it is.
Oh my
So
God, that's
He signed a
devastating.
3-year deal,
Yeah.
and I was pretty excited. Fresh start at New York, but yeah.
Oh my
snappy
God.
season.
Do you know what Hard Knocks is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So New York the Jets had Hard Knocks, and
It was a curse.
we watched that. Some people say that, but I just because Aaron Rodgers had a bit of a reputation before, like being with Green Bay, but then watching him over the summer, he was amazing. Like the amount of time he had for everyone, and he came out looking awesome. So I was really excited to see him this year. But
Yeah.
that could not have gone any worse.
Oh, nah.
I don't reckon it might be done forever now.
It's ridiculous.
It was
Yeah.
crazy. So round 1 last year at MetLife, I was there when New York played.
Yeah.
And a lot of their fans were like, oh, and they end up getting smashed. And a lot of their fans were like, we suck. Like this year happens every time we're just no good.
Yeah.
And then to have like a primetime night game the year after, it was like, it was really interesting to see how in 12 months' time it can turn for them. And they won the game, obviously, as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Still won, yeah.
But yeah, to be there live last year compared to just watching it this year, it was just a whole different atmosphere by the look of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
My loser as well was just it's amazing the weather's been great, but like the start of
Oh my God.
Hayfever coming back.
Are you agreeing, or was that your
No,
loser?
I had it.
That was your loser. You both suffer
You
hay
just
fever.
had I was going to do a hybrid.
That's all right. He got him first.
That's why I wanted to take the new ball because I knew you'd always have.
Well, I've got another one as well.
So you both are hay fever sufferers,
yeah.
are you?
That was my hybrid. The weather you can't deny, but it's hay fever season and it
Swings and roundabouts.
swings around. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you? Does it get sneezy? Your eyes are all...
Yeah, I normally
all
take
the
like Zyrtec or whatever it is
Yeah.
every day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never affected me, so I've always found it.
Consider yourself lucky, mate.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, no, well said.
Feels like most people cop something.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, September.
And my other loser, Taylor's in Amsterdam at the moment.
Yep.
So it's awesome. She's over there with her family. So her dad is from Holland, like their background. So over there visiting some of their relatives. And my loser is, again, their time zone. It's like 8 hours different, so it's just not ideal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're speaking to each other at, shocking times.
Yeah, Europe. It's like smack bang in the middle of the workday is kind of that's when they're sleeping.
Exactly. So, not ideal.
Not ideal. That's not too
Shout out
bad.
Taylor, missing her.
What was your twinner then?
Oh, I said I had a hybrid of the weather and hay fever.
You could still go with the weather.
What do you mean?
What do you mean a hybrid?
Like, it works.
Yeah,
hand
I
in
don't
hand.
get it.
I don't really get
Hand
it.
in glove.
But you've already had a loser.
Yeah, I said it's an extra loser. I had a separate loser and a hybrid.
Mr. Negative over here.
Hey, it's September. Cheer up.
Playing fine. Oh,
So this is a twinner. These are messages for Harry. So it's very
Sympathy, eh?
Harry-centric podcast, but it's a big deal for Carlton. But as he went down, Harry, had a few of these from Casey. Just want to say, love the pod. Also, hope Harry's doing okay. Don't listen to the shit. We love you.
thanks, Casey.
Bridget,
Jane, they're all very similar, aren't they? Just a lot of love.
sending your love. A couple of people mentioning the misses. Do you want to acknowledge the misses at the start of the game?
Yeah, the first one, I haven't actually watched it back, but I don't know. I reckon that's hard to miss if you tried.
The dribbling.
I've said to someone, like, I don't know, this will just be the year when those ones where they'll just somehow hit the post. But that's all right. I was flat with the second one because I should have been kicking the ball well. Like, I haven't actually had a lot of shots since I've done my knee, but I just got rushed and got really close to man the mark, and I was disappointed in myself with that one. I don't necessarily care if you miss, but if you go through your routine and do what you feel is the best chance to keep the goal.
Yeah.
Which I rushed and I was really flat I did that. But yeah, other than that, the first one, as I said, that was just it's probably hard to do. So anyway, but I think in finals, like we saw, there's been a lot of bad kicking over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it can be the difference between winning and losing, and those you get fewer and fewer shots, I reckon, as finals get bigger and bigger. So it's really important to capitalise on the opportunities. But I think take away those misses, it was thought I was going all right, but
for sure, that's all I wanted to say before. That's why I was so flat when you went down, obviously just for your health and well-being, but you didn't get a chance to, for retribution, because other than that, I think you were leading score assists on the field and you were taking big contested marks. You were playing a really nice game up until that point.
But I think it's probably been the story of the year to a degree, but your main role is to finish those opportunities, and when regardless of what the rest of your game's happening, if you don't get that right. But as I said, that's what it takes. It's a good learning just to make sure you always do your routine. But
still got a chance to redeem yourself. So.
No, that's right.
James says, tell Big H we effing love the bloke. Bloody important to the win. Good on you, James.
Jimmy.
Nice work. Nice. Special announcement time. As we spoke about off the top, who wants to run this one, because it's a big deal?
You can, because you...
Yeah. Well, the announcement is that we've got our first lot of merchandise that's just come in. So, we've got a T-shirt to start us off.
Feels like we've made it.
Well, if they sell.
If they sell. We're just collecting dust.
I said that about the billboard last
Thank
week
you,
and
mate.
got shut down, so maybe not. Thanks, mate.
So what are we doing? How many are we selling? We're keeping it pretty exclusive from the...
Yeah, so we haven't got a massive quantity, so just the first batch, just to not put the feelers out, but just to get it rolling. So they'll be out this week. So they're as we haven't got a heap, so make sure you get onto it really quickly. But it's just a nice clean white shirt. So it's pretty exciting. It's cool.
Nice clean white tee. And then on the back, it's a nice fun inside joke for
it's an inside joke
for day one listeners.
For the day one listeners, correct.
It's the horrendous ankle tat.
Well, it's not that bad.
Well, it was pretty bad.
But do you see why I might have got it? It looks pretty cool, eh?
It looks cool.
So imagine that on your ankle.
I take it back.
Thanks, mate.
I think it's a great tat.
Yeah, thank you.
Get down 7 times, get down 8, get up 9.
Planted across my foot.
Yeah.
Is that?
It's so ridiculous.
So what is this? What does this say?
I don't even know. Down.
Down 7, down 8, up
down
9.
a lot of times.
Is that the right one or the wrong one?
Well, as
That's
we
the one I've
discussed,
got. That's what's on my foot.
that's what's on his foot.
So
it's
half
wrong.
of it's rubbed off on my foot.
But as discussed, it sounds like he's fallen down 15 times. He's only got up
And then
9.
got up 9.
It doesn't feel like enough get-ups. So these will be on sale 4 p.m. Wednesday. So get in quick if you want to get them because there aren't many floating around.
Yep.
And also exciting news, we have our first sponsors, which is great.
Also, it might be worth. This won't be our only batch we're going to release.
Good call.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's right.
No,
Just-
exactly.
yeah.
If
the
you miss
first.
out,
If we miss out, there'll be more coming, but our first one, there's not a heap available. So
And
get in
we're gonna keep a couple of our sleeves for maybe the best call of the week or someone does something pretty cool for the show. So
yeah.
contributions.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of the EP, boys. Big EP. Carlton, of course,
ep.
still alive. If you're listening to this midweek, Harry, you'll be heading to Brisbane soon.
Yep.
Biggest game of your career, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, you've played some monsters too.
That Freo game was.
That Freo game, my
I'll
God.
look back on it. I'm telling you.
we laugh, but geez. That
really
Freo
was the
game
catalyst, wasn't it?
was the catalyst. Best of luck, Harry.
Thanks, guys.
Ben, continue enjoying your off season.
Enjoying the holidays, mate.
Great
Also,
call.
Ben, do you want to maybe sing Will happy birthday because it's his birthday on Thursday, I believe.
Correct. Oh, good memory, Harry.
Yeah.
Is it?
So
I didn't actually know that, Will. I'm sorry, mate.
Do you know the words to Happy Birthday?
just claim that he's known him all his life.
Thank you, guys.
Happy
and
birthday, mate.
enjoy. Cheers.
Nice.
Cheers, mate.